It's Dixon Daniel here, and I'm glad to be with you again on this channel today to do another video. And in this video, I intend to give a brief history, a brief history about the Israeli and Palestine conflict. In a layman's language. I believe we all knew what's happening in Gaza Strip now, and we've been here. I mean, we've always we've heard about the continual conflict in the Gaza Strip, and I know some of us, just like myself, some years back, wondered that what's actually the problem with this? What's the cause of the problem? What's the cause of the real problem between this Israeli and Palestinians? This Israeli and Palestine conflict every now and then in the Gaza Strip. So today I'll be doing a very short video in which I try to within 10 minutes give you a brief history of what is actually the cause of the conflict, the continual conflict that they experienced in the Gaza Strip. And of course, like you know what to do in this channel. What I do basically is to create content, to make videos that help in your personal development, in your spiritual development, your self-improvement, and personal finance. So, and if these are things that interest you, these are kind of the kind of topics that interest you, kindly subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video, and as well like the video. Smash up the like button. Let the YouTube algorithm know that this is a video that is worth promoting. So please like the video, hit up, smash up the like button right now. All right, having said that, let me now go straight into what we'll be discussing today. And I'll go back in time, biblical history. I'll bring it from the Bible and then into our present time, or to a time that we can understand. Now, when we sit down, you think about it, the Israeli and Palestine conflict. One thing is that you never found the word Palestine in the Bible. The word Palestine, or a place called Palestine, it was never recorded in the Bible. We could say things like the Philippines, the Philistines and all those kind of things, but not the Palestinians, not Palestinians. There's nothing like that in the Bible. Now you now wonder that, so how come, where did the Palestinians came from? How come they are now struggling in the land? How come themselves and Israel are now having a kind of conflict over a land? Now what happened was this. In the Bible days, it started with Abraham. The land of Israel actually started with Abraham, right? Abraham, Isaac, and then to Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God promised Abraham that he should leave his father's house to a land he's going to show him. And that land is meant to be a promised land. It's meant to be a place where the Hebrews, the Jews will settle down, will settle. And so this journey started with Abraham, and then to Isaac, and then to Jacob. All right, these are the founding fathers of the land of Israel. They are the founding fathers of the land of Israel. We all know the story. It's all there in the book of Genesis. And then Jacob was the one that was eventually renamed Israel. And through him, the 12 tribes of Israel were given birth to. All right, through him, the 12 tribes of Israel were, were given birth to. All right, so they now started the land of Israel. All right, that was like around 1700 BC, before Christ. All right, then around 1000 BC, the monarchy, like the monarchy rule, started with King Saul. It started with King Saul, and then on to King David. And then King David chose to make Jerusalem his capital. It makes it we call it is like the political capital, or what's the word? No, what was the right word? That's the word. It's the political capital, the powerhouse of Israel. So David chose Jerusalem as the city of David, as his place, as where he ruled, where he kind of controlled, or where he ruled the land of Israel from. Now, in the Bible days, you notice that David was first in the land of Judah, and he was a king in Judah before he now became king over all the land of Israel, over all the land of Israel. So, and because of that, he placed the capital, the political capital of Israel, in Judah, which is in Jerusalem. And Jerusalem is in Judah. All right. And afterward, King Solomon continued the reign, and King Solomon did something that is very dear to all Israelites, and which is the building of the temple of God, which David wanted to start. David actually wanted to start it, but God told him, we all know God told him that he has so much blood in his hands, a man of war, and he could not build him a temple. Nevertheless, everything that was needed for the temple mostly was made available by King David. And then King Solomon built the temple. King Solomon built the temple in Jerusalem. King Solomon built the temple, which is another thing, another major thing that is very dear to the Israelites, is the temple. And he built a very magnificent temple. In Bible history, it was said that the two pillars entering into the temple, one stands for holiness, and the other one, it was inscribed on it. One of the pillars, it was inscribed on it holiness, and the other one beauty. So it was a temple that stood for two things: beauty and holiness. It was a magnificent temple. It was a magnificent temple, all right? So, and that one was built. Afterward, God God gave some instruction, and he told King Solomon something. He said, if you turn back from following me, we'll see that we'll read the Bible verse right now. It's the book of Chronicles. He said, if you turn back from following me, these are the things I'll do to you, and this and that, and we all knew what happened. And King Solomon's heart was turned away from his God. King Solomon's heart was turned away from his God, and then the temple got broken. And now let's read some of let's read the scripture verse. Let's read the book 2 Chronicles chapter 7. Let's start from verse 17 to 22. And it says, and as for you, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, according to all that I have commanded you, and keeping my statutes and my rules, then I will establish your royal throne as I covenanted with David your father. That's God talking to Solomon, saying, you shall not lack a man to rule Israel. 19, he says, but if you turn aside and forsake my statutes and my commandments that I have set before you, and go and serve other gods and worship them, then I will pluck you up from my land that I have given you, and this house that I have consecrated for my name I will cast out of my sight, and I will make it a proverb and a byword among all the people. And at this house which was exalted, everyone passing by will be astonished and say, why has the Lord done thus to this land and to this house? All right, so that's the word of God. So when this happened, the next person that took over the reign from King Solomon was King Rehoboam, his son Rehoboam. And we know under Rehoboam what happened. The land of Israel got splitted into two. So some tribes, they left with Jeroboam. They left 10 tribes left with Jeroboam, and now we have Jerusalem, which is the political capital, having just 2 tribes in it, which is Judah and Benjamin. So Judah and Benjamin now stayed in Jerusalem, stayed in the south region, and then the other 10 tribes, they moved to the northern region. Now, so during Rehoboam's reign, we now have 2 kingdoms. We have the kingdom of Israel and then the kingdom of Judah. The kingdom of Israel and then the kingdom of Judah. The kingdom of Judah consists of 2 tribes, Judah and Benjamin. The rest tribe, Reuben, Gad, and all of them, where the other 10 tribes were with Jeroboam, and they moved to the northern region. And so we now have in the northern region, which is the kingdom of Israel, we have Samaria as their capital. And then we have the kingdom of Judah, which we have Jerusalem as the capital. And ever since these kingdoms split into two, even though they are brothers, there's been consistent conflict between the kingdom of Israel. Listen carefully, between the kingdom of Israel and then the kingdom of Judah. Okay? And then what happened again? At a point, because they turned away from their God, the things that God said, the prophecies, the things that God pronounced that will happen to them, happened to them. They left their land. A lot of conquest started happening. There's been a lot of conquest on that land. And they start living. Now, let's see what the Bible said about that. So the first is in Deuteronomy chapter 4. Let's start from verse 25, perhaps to 27 thereabout, or 29. And it reads, it says, when you father children and children's children, and have grown old in the land, if you act corruptly by making a carved image in the form of anything, and by doing what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, so as to provoke him to anger, he says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today, that you will soon utterly perish from the land that you are going over the Jordan to possess. This was Moses, God speaking to the Israelites through Moses. He said, you will not live long in it, but will be utterly destroyed. And 27 reads, and the Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you will be left few in number among the nations where the Lord will drive you. And that's exactly what happened to the Israelites. They left their land and they were left few. They became minority in their own land. So we can look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 63 to perhaps 67. And it reads, it said, and as the Lord took delight in doing you good and multiplying you, so the Lord will take delight in bringing ruin upon you and destroying you. And you shall be plucked off the land that you are entering to take possession of it. And the Lord will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other. And there you shall serve other gods of wood and stone, which neither you nor your fathers have known. And says, and among these nations you shall find no respite, and there shall be no resting place for the sole of your foot. But the Lord will give you there a trembling heart, and failing eyes, and a languishing soul. Your life shall hang in doubt before you. Night and day you shall be in dread, and have no assurance of your life. And in the morning you shall say, if only it were evening, and at evening you shall say, if only it were morning, because of the dread that your heart shall feel, and the sight that your eyes shall see. And all these things happened during the Nazi reign, when over 6 million Jews were killed. And how they were, during the conquest, really, a lot of them went, they flew, they went on exile, they flew to different... And so there was a lot of conquest on the land of Israel, both at the land of Israel as a whole, meaning both the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. And so around 630 BC, they now have, it was when the Roman Empire now conquered the land of Israel, and they were ruling the land of Israel. So it's under the Roman Empire that the land of Judah, the one in the southern region, and in which we have Jerusalem, was named Palestine. It was under the Roman Empire, the Roman rule, Roman government, that the land of Judah, which houses Jerusalem, was named Palestine, in bid to do what? To break away that area, because it's like the political power. So there's a lot of political interest in that area. So it was meant to break it away from the Jewish people. It was meant to break that land away from the Jewish people so that it's no longer part of the land of Israel. Now it is Palestine. And so it was under the Roman Empire that the land, the kingdom of Judah, was renamed Palestine. All right? And then, of course, a lot of conquest again. I mean, and when that happened, a lot of things were happening also. A lot of things were happening, and there are series of conquest again, and lots of the Jews, they started fleeing. They started leaving their lands, and they started fleeing to Europe and some other parts of the world. All right, they started fleeing out of the land to different parts of the world, and now they became minority in their whole land. Afterwards, around the 7th century, we have that was okay. Let's say towards the end of the Roman Empire, Christianity was given birth to, or the spread of Christianity. Christianity starts spreading. All right, we have Christianity starts spreading, and then during the 7th century, there was the Arab conquest. There was also the Arab conquest whereby Islam starts spreading, and it was during this time that the Arab came and they conquered the land of Israel. They conquered the land of Israel, and under the Ottoman, under the Ottoman Empire, the whole land of Israel now, not only Judah again, not only the kingdom of Judah, but the whole land of Israel, meaning including the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah, was now officially named Palestine. Under the Roman Empire, only Judah was named Palestine, but under the Ottoman Empire, the whole region was named Palestine. All right, and this reign and this Ottoman reign, was on until around the 16th century, or around the end of, or around during the World War I, when the British now came to take over. The British and the French, the British Empire and the French Empire, they came and they collapsed the Ottoman Empire and took over that region again. You know, there was a collapse of the Ottoman. It was an Arab superpower. There was a collapse of it, and then the British and the French took over the reign of that region again. All right, and under it, we now have what we call the British Mandate for Palestine. The British Mandate for Palestine. All long short, the Britain at a point now created the state. I mean, they did what? Under the British reign, they now created the state of Israel and is the state of Palestine. And so during this period also, the Jews that went on exile, to the European countries and all, they were living in Europe and all those things, with other Christians, started a movement which is called the Christian Zionist Movement, or the Zionist Movement, which has the idea of people with no land going to a land with no people and then creating a world for themselves. And so the Jews start gathering themselves, they start mobilizing themselves, and then they mobilize themselves back to occupy the land of, to occupy the land that they fled from, their land, which has now become the land of the Palestinians, which they have now named Palestine. They now traveled back to that place. But when they got there, they found some barren lands. Like these Palestinians, during the Arab conquest, they took over the Jewish people, they took over their farms, they took over everything. And at the point they just left that place, it's like it's underdeveloped or undeveloped. They just left it there, and these people came back to that land and they started developing, building factories, irrigation and all those things. And when they now make that land, a land that it was fallow, a land that was deserted, a land that was like nobody wanted again, when they now came and they make this land again desirable, building factories, bringing up industries, making things happen in that place, the Palestinians, the Arabs in the neighboring countries start coming back, start trooping in back, and start claiming that it's their land. And they start claiming that it's their land. But in truth, if you follow this discourse closely, that land actually belongs to the Jewish people. They are the first people that were settling there as far as 3500 BC. But due to their disobedience and due to the prophecy which God said, what God said, which we've seen, they are at a point they went on exile. At a point they fled due to the persecution and everything. They left their land and they became minority in their own land. And then the Arab took over, and then they named that region Palestine. But in truth, it was not originally. The land is not. It does not originally belong to the Arabs. It actually belongs to the Jewish people, to the Israelites. All right. And so that's actually the essence. I mean, the short, in layman understanding, the reason for the continual conflict between the Israelites and the Palestine. The Israelites have come back to reclaim back their land, but the Palestinians, some of them, because you have to understand, some of them these are generations and generations and generations. Some of the generations, they don't even know that land was taken over from the Israelites. They just knew they were giving birth to in this region that is called Palestine. And then these people are coming and saying it's their land again. And so that is the reason for the continual conflict that we will hear of or we see often in that region. That is the continual conflict between the Israelites and the Palestine. So that's just a brief history in a layman's language. I hope it blessed you. I hope you learned something, and I hope you will not be, it helps you not to be too confused about what is really happening in that region, like it was for me some years back. All right. So till I see you again, keep taking. Till I see you again, be blessed, and keep watching my videos and subscribe to this channel. Bye bye.